Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale in Abuja. Let's tell you that President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja for Riyadh in Saudi Arabia to attend the Saudi Africa Summit, which is scheduled to take place in Riyadh on the 10th of November 2023. The Saudi Africa Summit, the president will underscore Nigeria's commitment to attracting more foreign direct investment and expanding business partnerships, which are strongly reinforced by his administration's ongoing domestic economic reforms. The discussions at that first summit will revolve around supporting joint action, enhancing political coordination, addressing regional security threats, facilitating economic transformation through research and the local development of new energy solutions, all while bolstering cross-sectoral investment cooperation. That is the details coming from the presidency today. The president has said that it will be the president will be accompanied by some members of his cabinet, which includes the Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga, Minister of Education Tahir Mamman, the Coordinator Minister of the Economy Wale Edun, the Humanitarian Affairs Minister and Poverty Alleviation Better Edu, as well as the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Abubakar Bagudu, as well as the NSA and a couple of others. So President Bola Tinubu today is signed the 2023 supplementary budget into law. The president, after receiving the copies of the budget as passed by both chambers and ratified by both chambers of the National Assembly, the president signed the over 2 trillion budget into law today at the presidential villa in presence of some members of its cabinet and some federal lawmakers. All right, and tonight we'll be looking at quite a few issues. On one hand, is the situation in Plateau State. Now, we know that some of the federal lawmakers in Plateau State belonging to or members of the People's Democratic Party have been sacked by the court. And it's the Court of Appeal, which is the highest court in determining cases of the National Assembly. And so there's been street protests, reactions trailing those judgments of court. Of course, we're getting reactions from Plateau State to see what exactly these mean and the implications of some of these court judgments. One of the sacked federal lawmakers will be speaking to us tonight on the program. And of course, a lot is happening ahead of Saturday. The governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi State will be bringing you up to speed with the latest has been planned by INEC. A few issues here and there that needs clarification, and we shall be getting them tonight on the program. But before we get into all of that tonight, we will bring you some of your political roundup stories. But of course, we would like to let you know that the budget signed by the president is the supplementary budget of 2023 is 2.17 trillion, which the president signed today at the presidential villa in Abuja. Well, everyone, let's take a breather. We'll take some commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be diving into the conversation tonight on the program. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. So let's tell you that on Saturday, the nation will be watching, and those who will be watching on the sideline might include those who are not in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo State, where the elections may not be happening. But how far is the preparations of INEC, especially on the fact that 2023 elections were conducted, and now we're getting some reactions on the level of preparations of the electoral umpire, where things are at right now. A few controversies here and there, and the issues that INEC needs to clarify to douse a few of the tension and what the expectations of Nigerians are on this process. Tonight, I'm being joined on the program by the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi, who will be speaking to us on the preparation and the level of readiness of the electoral umpire in this exercise. All right, then Rotimi will be joining us just in a moment. Let's switch to our second issues on the program tonight. Let's be speaking with Honorable Dachong Bagos, who is now a former member of the House of Representatives from Plateau State. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us.
Thank you, Sheun.
Yeah. Honorable Bagos lost his appeal at the Court of Appeal yesterday, as well as Senator, and well, now he will now be Senator designate, the Minister of Labor, and the former governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, who won at the Court of Appeal, who is now unseating a PDP senator in Plateau State. But there seems to be some reactions on the street, protests, bonfires on the streets of Plateau State, raising the political tension ahead of some of the other undecided cases in the state. Let's speak now with Honorable Dachong Bagos. Honorable, you lost your case yesterday, so you are now a former member of the House. That's the case, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I was court-martial yesterday. Let me put it that way, because...
court-martial?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a member of the military?
I'm not a member, but what happened was like a military coup that happened on the Plateau yesterday. From the reaction that you have just seen on the streets, sacking 7 National Assembly members through the court.
And all of them are from the PDP?
And all of them from the PDP. These are people that none of us won our election with a difference margin with our various opponents with less than 60,000. The difference between me and the first runner-up was 60-something thousand. The senator that the former governor changed, almost 60,000, and none of us. So that's the reaction, because as the representative of the people, definitely you will get that kind of reaction from the people when they know very well that there's an act of injustice against them. So issues that has happened, sacking the 7 National Assembly members, 2 senators, 5 House of Representative members, it's shocking that I can tell you at the moment we have lost like 4 people. Lost, yes.
People dead?
Yes, people died.
On the Plateau?
Yes, because of the shock of what has happened. A woman was holding a baby, and when she heard what happened, she slumped, rushed to the hospital, died. Many had BP, died in as of today, 4 count of people that
so
died.
It's a shock on the side of the PDP.
On the side of the...
But you,
not just... You
won the election, you were declared winner at the poll, but you won at the tribunal. I mean, you lost at the tribunal, yes, and you lost again at the appeal.
So issues...
And not this time around, you lost to a Labour Party candidate.
And even, not just me.
Is that right?
Exactly.
You lost to a Labour Party
I lost at the tribunal, and again at the appeal. But out of 7 of us, some won at the tribunal and lost at the appeal. Because in the tribunal we had on the Plateau, we had 3 panels on the Plateau. 2 panels cleared all the PDP members, including the governor. 1 panel did not clear 4 of the PDP members, which me and 1 senator and other of my colleagues. So coming to appeal now, because we appeal, they appeal. Coming to appeal, issues that the appeal court now held to nullify the election of the National Assembly members, it is unassuming. It's something that, where is the law? It's something that we now are thinking, then where is the hope of the common man? Out of all the elections, calculating the entire total number of votes of all of us is over 400,000. I alone got 95,000. So looking at all this, it's something that you now start asking, where is the hope of the common man? Because as a lawmaker, let me tell you something here, Shehu, that as lawmakers, we know the law very well, and we will not be able to allow ourselves to contravene the law. I can clearly tell, if I know that I contravene the law, I will not even bother to go to defend any of my cases, because I know that I've contravened the law. But the laws are there. Looking at what are even the issues from the first instance that led to the tribunal and appeal court nullifying the election, some elections, is that it's purely a pre-election matter. And in reading out the judgment, the judges now said that it can be pre-election and post-election matter. They agreed to the fact that it's a pre-election matter. And again, bringing out some laws from where we don't know, which I was part of those that clearly made the 2022 Electoral Act in the 9th Assembly. Section 65 of the Electoral Act clearly said for National Assembly members, clearly stated that you cannot disqualify anybody in terms of an issue of pre-election matter by another party, unless it's someone from the same party.
The grounds of the appeal were, I mean, the court nullified your election at the trial court based on the invalid nomination.
Invalid nomination. That PDP had no structure. And again, okay, it will interest you now,
let me ask you then. These are all the National Assembly cases that are up for contest in Plateau State, right?
Yes, all.
So now you're expecting a judgment
for House of Assembly,
for the House of Assembly and the governorship. So this is a similar case. Similar cases in all of
it. They all have the ground one.
Governor Mutfuwang.
For the governor and the 16 House of Assembly, we have 24 House of Assembly members, 16 House of Assembly. So now we have had judicial cleansing, clearing PDP in the National Assembly. All known now at the national, as it stands at the National Assembly, no PDP member. So now they are now going for the Houses of Assembly.
So out of the 3 senators, you've lost 2?
Yeah, out of the 3 senators, initially we won 2 outrightly.
So you've lost them now?
So we have lost them now. Out of the 8 National Assembly members, we won 5. So now we have lost all of them now. So now the hearing for the Houses of Assembly members is coming up this Saturday, 16 of them, before the judgment. Before
you're crying foul, Honorable, but those on the other side, we imagine that justice has been served.
Justice has been served on what ground?
I mean, on what ground? In their own right.
It has clearly states that
the Labour Party candidate who defeated you in the court.
Who court gave election, not defeated me.
I mean, he defeated you in the court.
No, you cannot clearly. If you say defeated me, which means now we have 2 forms of election in Nigeria: the ones that will be conducted by INEC and the ones that will be conducted by the court. If he defeated me, no, the court gave him that.
So if you are not, exactly so that is not election. Just remember.
Yeah, so that kind of election is what the court gives you.
Remember, not a disputed election is being clarified by the courts.
Yeah, well, so
in that sense,
an election that the court felt that this is what this is the person they can clarify.
He defeated you in the courtroom.
Twice. No, well. I did not. I would not accept that, because I know that
in the courtrum.
I wasn't defeated in the courtroom. I was court-martialed in the courtroom because my issues are there. I followed the law. No, the laws are there. If the court had clearly followed the rules as it is, it is a pre-election matter. But the court now say that it's pre-election and post-election matter. And again, it wasn't a PDP. It can only be a post-election. It can still be a post-election matter if the party says that this is not our candidate. Is there in the law. If the party says that this is not our candidate, that is where it's now become a post-election matter. And having a pre-election matter now being judged as an election. And let me tell you, the interesting part of all this, the Supreme Court has ruled that it's only INEC that can determine any dispute in any party matter. That was ruled this 2023 by Supreme Court. And INEC again appealed the judgment of the tribunal, the tribunal. And when INEC came in and said, look, this party has conducted Congress, because INEC is the only person that will finally say they were part of the Congress. INEC said that this party conducted its Congress, but the court says, I was in the court when one of the judges clearly said that, well, INEC, the person that signed that PDP conducted Congress is not the person that signed for the CTC. So that is very good. I was in the courtroom when one of those judgments that it says that INEC, the person that signed witnessing the Congress is not the person that signed the CTC. So it's very confusing. And again, on my own judgment yesterday, they still fine INEC 1 million for appealing the judgment. So when INEC is the final say on any dispute that have to do with a political party, I don't know where now court will disagree with INEC.
So you disagree with the judgment of the court?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
it's just unfortunate.
But you cannot do anything.
Yes, it's just unfortunate that my people's voice can no longer be contested further. And these are issues that we will further push with the National Assembly that, look, the National Assembly cases should be pushed to Supreme Court, not just for the governorship. Because now it has shown clearly that if you have any more power or whatsoever what you want to do to stop at a certain level, let's get to the Supreme Court.
Are you suggesting that something was wrong other than what the law, I mean, in terms of what the judgment, the judges declared or ruled on, that something...
In human face.
You do not agree with them.
Yeah, in human face.
And you do not think that they did justice to the case.
Exactly. In human face, Shewin, I can tell you something.
Are you suggesting that something else?
Absolutely. Let me tell you. Why
just because you did not win?
Not just because I did not win, but why is Plateau issue peculiar? Because this same pre-election matters was cleared by other justices in Lagos and even in the Abuja, the same courtroom. So you are
suspecting that in all of the 7 cases where your party had lost, that the judges were compromised. Is that what you're suggesting?
I would say they were, because they did not look at the issues very well.
All of them?
In all of them. Why
all the judges hated your party?
Because why will the same judges do the same thing? And why is it that it's Plateau that only 3 people have judged all their cases? Other states, I can tell you that some of my colleagues, their cases, there are some that have 2 to 3 appeals. There are 2 different panels are handling their cases. But here you have, like me, I have like 4, like I have 2 cases. One from APC, one from Labour, 1 panel. The other, all of us from Plateau under 1 panel. But you can have other states that you can have, this person is in this panel, this person is in this panel. They were staggered in different panels. But on Plateau State, only 1 panel, only all the cases. And God forbid, that is the same panel that will handle our houses of assembly and the governorship election that is coming. That will not be acceptable. Our people have spoken, and we are going to take this very seriously. And this is a very serious issue that the president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces should look into, because he is, number one, we want to ensure that Plateau State is peaceful. We have been enjoying the peace that we have in the state at the moment. But what has happened today, and with the protests that has happened, we have to calm our people. Look, we are going to do something about this. I can tell you how we make calls, frantic calls, to calm the people. We have made, all of us have made press statements that they should calm down. We are looking into this issue. But people are now losing hope in the system, because I wonder what conscience someone will have to celebrate victory that he did not deserve.
So the question is, you lost in the court and you are aggrieved. And
my people are aggrieved. It's about the people.
You are alerting.
It's about the people. My people are aggrieved.
You are suggesting and suspecting that there are untoward tendencies about this.
Yeah, because humanly speaking,
those who have described you and your colleagues as bad losers.
Yeah, well, how can we be bad losers? Did we lose at the elections? So the first point of any person to get into any elective position is the general elections. All of us overwhelmingly won. Cancel 50% of our wards or polling units. We will still win. Our opponents will not even come near to our votes, that is where you will say that
in
we have lost.
in your own eyes, Honorable, you imagine that anyone who wins out of court is illegitimate.
Absolutely, because if the issues illegitimate, if the issues are not intangent with the law.
But you have won out of court before.
Yes, I've never even been taken to the court, because the first time, my previous elections, when the person went to the court and he saw the law, he withdrew himself. This is the first time I'm even experiencing this.
So could that be the reason why you are in shock?
No, absolutely no, because some of my colleagues have been in court and they have struggled it out and they won their cases genuinely, squarely, according to the law, because the court is the last hope of the common man.
So let me ask you.
So that is not because of ours. Yeah. That because why we are now speaking about this, Sheun, is that there is a high level of injustice to our people. I can tell you that if I had lost squarely and according to the law, I wouldn't say anything. I will congratulate my opponents.
So you are claiming that there is injustice.
Absolutely, there is injustice. If there is no injustice, you won't see this kind of crowd that you have seen on the street. Because the crowd, there is a difference between a hired crowd and there's a difference between a crowd of conscience. The people you have seen on this street, it is not a kind of crowd that any politician will go and say that he's paying for those kind of crowd. And this crowd that you are seeing at different locations across the state, we have to calm our people down.
Now, let me ask you, your party at the national level had raised an alarm about the appeal court panel for the governorship election.
Yeah.
Is that the same fear that you have, that your governor is having?
That's a fear that every PDP member is having, because now we are now being looked upon like orphans that nobody can speak for. And again, if we have a president that have sworn an oath to protect each life and property of Nigerian, we have the right for the president to come to our rescue at this particular moment, because prevention is better than cure at any particular moment. So we have a right as a party, because before I became who I am first of all a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria before joining the PDP. So before joining the PDP, the president is responsible for my upbringing. The president is responsible for my security. The president is responsible to ensure that the states under the 36, within the 36 states, is secure. So this is a call that the president should, at this particular moment, look into the issue of Plateau State before a form of anarchy will come. Because now that the National Assembly members are gone, they are going for the State House of Assembly members, 16 of them. So, because if it is an issue of illegality, INEC will not be part of this illegality. So, part elections, INEC stop election in Zamfara, INEC stop election in other places before even reaching to the polling booth, because they know that there is a form of illegality against the Electoral Act.
Let's anchor on this. What is your biggest fear? I mean, in the undecided one, especially the governorship election.
My biggest fear is a form of anarchy.
How?
Because
today, might lose his case at the Court of Appeal?
Well,
is that what you suspect?
If they are going this same line, with the same appeal, that is not what we're going to. We will not get fair hearing. Even when the first senator was removed, I wrote a petition to the president of the Court of Appeal that, look, I no longer have confidence in this panel. Can you kindly change the panel so that I will have fair hearing? I have not gotten reply. I have not gotten any response from the Court of Appeal, reason why my letter was not even replied upon. So this is democracy, and democracy is about is about fairness.
Let me ask you, you remember in 2019, in Zamfara State, that all elected members of the APC were removed, and your party were the beneficiary.
Yes, because at the end of the day, that came, INEC have to testify that, look, we don't know these people. But in our own case, it's not even about our own election. Our case is not even about general elections, Sheun. Our case is about that PDP at the state level did not conduct Congress, that there was a court case. That is our, so we should not be able to take a different issue of Zamfara, that their case was about general election.
I mean, because
our case
you're talking about a few issues here, and also you remember, and I'm talking about where your party has benefited as being a beneficiary of court judgment.
Any other party, as if he's a second runner-up.
You remember in Bayelsa State in 2019, where Mr. Lyon, David Lyon, won the election, and because of the name of Degi Eremiayon, who is his deputy, the man simply was removed, and he could have been governor. And your party benefited from it. There are those who be on the other side who say, look, there are times that they have also cried foul, but that was the position of the court.
That's not what justice is all about. Justice is not about. No, that's not what
justice is. Justice is not about.
No, justice is not about because it has favored you before, so now it's time to favor me even against my will. No. Justice is all about doing the right thing at the right time and about fairness. If today, and I told you earlier, that if we had gone against the law, we would not cry foul. If you clear all the references that you have made, the deputy governor then of David Leon did not deny the fact that there was a problem. The APC candidates then, so all these are issues.
But
again,
weren't there issues
it was
in your
about,
party?
No, it was about the
Plateau. Were there issues in your party before the
There were issues in our party which the court annulled, and again we went and did repeated congresses, and at the end of the day, the body that could and will say that this court order was adhered to was INEC. INEC witnessed our repeated congresses, and at the end of the day, they testify in court. That's why they even appealed in court. INEC testified that, look, this same party in the state did this repeat Congress. And apart from that, these issues are pre-election matters. So these are two areas that I want you to look at.
Just for a moment, because I'd like to get your views on one or two issues, but let me turn to Rotimi Oyekomi, who is the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman. He joins us virtually in Abuja. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for joining us tonight on the program. All right, I can see you, Rotimi. I don't know if you can hear me and hear me clearly. But let's begin the conversation. How ready is INEC for Saturday? I see that the chairman has been moving around with his top officials, but I guess he's back in Abuja now. If that is the case, what is the state of preparation as of now?
As of now, we are exactly where we would like to be. All materials are on ground in the 3 states. We are deploying over 46,000 staff that have been trained, both regular and ad hoc. And all our staff are on ground for the conduct of the elections. The materials have been delivered, both non-sensitive and sensitive. And of course, we are going to be deploying technology. All the beavers machines are there to be deployed at the appropriate time. We have consulted widely with stakeholders. We have met with political parties. We have met with security agencies. We have discussed with various stakeholders. Today, the peace accord was signed in 3 states. Yesterday, we had the stakeholders meeting. And even though there are worries being expressed here and there, I think basically for the election, we are ready. And barring any unforeseen circumstances, on Saturday, we will roll out our men and materials, and we'll be at the polling unit for 8:30 when people will come out, registered voters will come out in the 3 states to exercise their franchise.
So you announced the limitation. That is what INEC sometimes do, the limitation of polling units. That means you re-identify new, old ones, and you recalibrate them. So there are those who ask question, why is it coming so close to the election? Some people might have problem identifying their polling unit. Why did you release the delimitation details at this time?
No, Sheil, there is no confusion about this whole thing. Before every election, we release information booklet, the full details of the election. We release the polling unit figures. We release the total number of registered voters. We release the total number of permanent voters cards collected. And in the case of these 3 off-season governorship elections, 38 polling units in Imo State will not be having any election because there are no registered voters attached to them. So we are not deploying either men or materials to these 38 polling units. In the same vein, in Bayelsa State, there are 2 polling units where voting will not take place. We are not going to deploy men and materials to these 2 polling units. So it's a way of providing information generally to all stakeholders, so that when you get hold of the document we have released, at a glance you can see, statistics like local government areas, the wards, the registration wards, number of polling units, number of registered voters, and so on. So there is no rearrangement as such. It's just providing existing information that we have always done.
So, but give us an understanding about the so-called troubled areas or hotbeds within and around some of these states. Is INEC fully, is security foolproof in this area? And what are the security agencies telling you? Is there any worry as to which area you might not be able to deploy to, or which areas are troubled areas that INEC is worried about deployment?
Look, Sheil, when we met with political leaders during our stakeholders meeting some weeks ago, some of them expressed concern about the security situation in the states. Some of them complained about being attacked, that their billboards are being pulled down, and some of them complained of physical attacks. And we promised them that when we meet with the security agencies, we will convey their concerns. Of course, we had a meeting with the security agencies at the office of the National Security Advisor. The INEC chairman led a team from INEC to that meeting. And the chairman did not mince words in addressing the security chiefs that they need to take decisive action against anybody, no matter how highly placed, that foments trouble or attempts to derail the process. And we got assurances. The NSA was, all out and assured us that there will be no violence, that they will deploy enough men, and they will secure the environment for us. The Inspector General of Police also said the same thing, because the police is the lead agency for providing security during elections. And the IGP assured us that enough men will be deployed to the 3 states, and that in conjunction with INEC, they have identified some of the risky areas, and they are going to deploy men to make sure that nothing happens. And we don't have any reason to doubt the security agencies. We have collaborated with them. In fact, all our elections, they have made it possible for us to conduct this election because of the cooperation and their services that we have enjoyed. And we don't think that we have any reason to second guess them for these 3 off-season governorship elections happening on Saturday.
So there are some times ago that some permanent voter cards were destroyed in Imo State, and also there were some time ago that some of your facilities were also destroyed in some of these states. Has INEC fully recovered all of these destroyed infrastructures and materials?
Yeah, I know you are referring to some of the attacks on our facilities. We have recovered. All the PVCs destroyed have been reprinted. And of course, we have put all facilities back in shape. So I don't think we have any problem as far as that is concerned. So we are ready for the election.
There are those who are worried, though, about Imo State, and perhaps let me allow you to listen to these. This is coming from the People's Democratic Party in respect of the resident electoral commissioner in the state. Take a listen to what the PDP say. I'd like to get your reactions to that.
The party that Professor Agu's mission, and why she's insisting on staying back and not recusing herself up to the moment, is to compromise and manipulate the election of November 11, 2023 governorship election in Imo State in favor of the APC. And we're not just making this up. Her record speaks to that. There are several statements in the public domain, challenges, petitions have been written with regard to her activities.
How do you react to this?
Well, Sheung, the commission takes its responsibilities very seriously, and we don't joke with the conduct of elections. And when there are complaints against our officers, we also don't joke with complaints. But you see, you must provide the evidence to show that our officers are culpable. Look, you recall that the commission took decisive actions against 3 resident electoral commissioners recently. In Adamawa State, we moved against the reg when he stepped out of line. In Sokoto State, the same thing. In Abia State, the same thing. And so far as we are concerned, we haven't seen anything to, implicate the resident electoral commissioner for Imo State. We know that normally when we get close to elections, there are usually complaints here and there, which is based purely on suspicion. We are really very suspicious people in Nigeria, and politics is full of suspicion sometimes. But the assurance we are giving to all political parties is that, we are not going to allow any, pandering towards any interest for this election. Our interest is to conduct free, fair, and credible election. And let me also say this. For the elections, we are deploying 9 resident electoral commissioners to each of the states, and also 2 national commissioners that will assist the sitting resident electoral commissioner there. So it's serious business for us. And I don't think that there's any need for anybody to worry.
So, Rotimi, it's clear that the INEC rec in Imo State will stay and conduct the election in Imo State despite the controversies surrounding his activities and his person as being the rec and the leader of that commission in the state, isn't it?
Well, yes, the rec will conduct the election. We don't have any reason to remove her from there. And we don't have any evidence that implicates her or prove whatever allegations that have been alleged at this time.
But why is Imo State such a hot potato for INEC? For example, look at it. They will allow you to watch this. It seems to be some kind of commotion which happened at a stakeholders meeting. Let me, my producer should just play that up on a full screen. These are members of the PDP and Labour Party who are agitated about the stakeholders meeting. I'm sure you are aware of this, Rotimi. How is INEC treating this particular matter, where some members of the political party are saying that there is a tendency that appears to show some partisanship or bias or some kind of underhand dealings by the commission? How is the commission able to clarify or clear the air about these issues?
Thank you very much, Sheil. Interestingly, almost all stakeholders meeting that we have before governorship election will always witness incidents like this. People become agitated based on suspicion. Like I said, this lack of trust and suspicion is very rife, especially among politicians. And when we have such meetings, what we normally do is to clarify issues. So what happened in Imo is not new. It's a misunderstanding of what is going on. And of course, at the end of the day, clarifications were provided and the meeting went on as planned. So it's nothing really, really special. When people misunderstand things, when they make allegations, it is the responsibility of INEC to explain to them. And once explanation is given, tempers cool down. And
why was it, though, that INEC wanted the cameras to be shut out and journalists not being allowed to cover that conversation? I mean, why? Is there any reason being given? Because the impression that they had was as though INEC has something to hide. And that was why they did not want the journalists and cameras to be present in the room.
No, I think it's a misunderstanding. You know, normally, when we meet with stakeholders in Abuja, we have what you call opening ceremony, where if we are meeting with political parties, for instance, we will have the opening ceremony where the INEC chairman will give a speech, the chairman of IPAC will give a speech, and then the media will be excused so that we can discuss technical things. But of course, this stakeholder before the governorship election is totally different. So I think there was some misunderstanding, and the politicians, I think, misconstrued what the National Commissioner said. But like I said, issues were explained, were resolved, and the meeting went on as scheduled.
I mean, Imo State seems to be under the spotlight, especially for a lot of people. And perhaps one reason that INEC will be expected to be above board in this particular situation. But give us an understanding. How worried are you with this phenomenon of the unknown gunmen, the issues of IPOP, the sit at home, and some of those narratives that are being a major talking point and grabbing the headlines over the past months in Imo State? But this is happening and the elections are there also, and you cannot remove these factors away from the lives of the people, because election equally is a sociological science, which of course the people, their lives and their culture is part and parcel of this kind of event. So how are you dealing with that complication?
Well, Sheil, let me take you back to the last governorship election in Anambra State. Recall that before that election, many people had predicted that there will be bloodshed, that we will not be able to conduct the election, that we are wasting our time. And what did we do? We, of course, liaised with security agencies as usual, and then we liaised also with critical stakeholders in Anambra State, the good men and women of goodwill. And we secured their buy-in. We secured the cooperation of the security agencies. And we conducted the election in Anambra. There were a few incidences, but we were able to take care of it. That was then. And in the same vein, I also believe with the effort that we are putting, because we have done a lot of underground work, we have consulted men and women of goodwill in Imo State, we have appealed to them, and we have used several back channels to ensure that our election is not disrupted. And of course, we have also been in constant touch with security agencies to map out strategies on how to meet whatever challenge that will occur on Saturday in the port. So we are confident. Like I said, we don't have any reason to second guess our security agencies. They are experts. They know how to secure the country. They have the experience. They've been doing this for ages. And without them, we can't conduct the election. But more importantly, with the cooperation of all major stakeholders in Imo State, I think we will be able to sail through on Saturday.
So, I mean, I hope one doesn't sound like a crack record right now, but then it's worthy to ask again whether there is anything that has changed, because in the last election, the fear about whether IREV is going to work or not. Can you confirm to us again, Rotimi, the IREV is foolproof now and is going to work 100%? Can we get that confirmation?
I would have been surprised if you didn't ask about IREC. But let me assure you that in mid-October, we conducted mock accreditation. And we tested the functionality of the beavers and IREC. And the overall result was positive. But let me also say this, because, I think some Nigerians have this erroneous belief about the functions of IREC. IREC is not an electronic collating device. All it does is to receive polling unit results from the polling units as uploaded by the presiding officer using the beavers and just display it to anybody that clicks on a particular Form EC8A in any local government, in any state, according to what the person that is navigating wants to see. It's like a PDF format of the result sheet that is uploaded to that place. It doesn't do any other thing. If you just imagine the notice board in your office, which is permanently there, and when people want to, people to know about things, they will just go and put the thing there. The other use a pin to stamp it there. And again, it's like the scoreboard in a national stadium or in a stadium where when the goal is scored, is displayed on the board. So it doesn't do any other thing. The scoreboard cannot manufacture goal. That's what it does. So, and we have assured Nigerians that after the close of poll, when votes have been counted and figures entered into Form EC8, the presiding officer will snap a picture of that result and then upload to IREC real time. And when Nigerians now log into it, those who have the protocols, the username and the password, log into the IREC, and they navigate to any of the local governments in any of the states, they go to the polling unit, they can then see the results. So they can self-collate. We are assuring that will be done.
All right.
And the IREC...
Rotimi, just what I wanted is a commitment. Will it work or not?
No, it will work.
Okay, that's right. That's all. That's the confidence. That's all I want. On the final note, Rotimi, my question to you will be: is there any kind of addition to the electoral process that we are not aware of after the 2023 elections that will be added or that will be included into the November 11 elections? Is there anything innovation that you are adding to this exercise, other than that, those that we knew or know of in the 2023 election?
Well, not really, but I can only add that we have improved on the IREC. For instance, when the presiding officer takes a picture of the polling unit results, the IREC is now equipped with some protocols to identify certain security features. You remember, during the general election, there were stories and allegations about some people uploading their pictures and, maybe those who weren't properly trained or who didn't listen well when they were receiving the training on how to use the beavers. They uploaded, they were not supposed to upload. So the security features would be determined and be identified by the IREC. If the IREC does not find those security features, it will not accept the Form EC8A. So the intention is that the IREC will only accept our Form EC8A on election day and nothing more than that.
All right. Thank you so much. Rotimi Oyekomi is the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman. Thank you so much indeed. We will still get to reach out to you should we need some more clarification from INEC. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let's, before we close the program, let's also tell you that the governorship candidate of the APC in Kogi State has been reacting to the security situation in the state. This is Usman Ododo reacting to the violent activities that we're seeing in the past days.
My members have been arrested. Some of my leaders, even in my community this morning, they have picked not less than 7 of my members. I allow them to do their work. I will not interfere with their investigation. I believe by the time they are done with their investigation and none of them is found guilty, they will be released. I have been invited severally by security agencies. I have been honoring their invitation. not once, not twice, not 3 times, and I'm ready to honor their invitation at any point in time. I don't breed criminals. I don't breed thug. I don't have one. I have advised my supporters not to engage in any criminality because I don't condone it.
Usman Ododo, APC governorship candidate in Kogi, said, of course, yesterday you watched the SDP governorship candidate on this program making allegations and perhaps some of the reactions that we're getting from the side of the APC on that matter. Let's close the program now. And in 30 seconds, Honorable, if you can tell me, ahead of this election, your experience in all of this, what do you think that we can make out of all of this process, our electoral process? And you were part of the drafting, the amendment to the electoral law. What do you think is a major lesson for Nigerians to take away from all of this?
The laws that we need, Sheun, as of today, to make Nigeria a great nation is there. It has been made by the National Assembly time immemorial. It has been amended at different moments. What Nigeria now needs now is leadership to build on confidence building. The hope and the renewed hope that the present administration has promised Nigerians is what will drive what will drive that yearning of leadership that Nigerians are looking for. Right. Apart from that, I don't see any, because the renewed hope, what Nigerians are now looking for, it's their hope to be renewed, to still believe in the country called Nigeria, because we still believe in this country. Nigeria must work. We don't have any choice. But our leaders must renew our hope.
Honorable Dachong Bagos, a former member, so fast that from between yesterday, a lot of things have changed. Former member of the House of Representatives, PDP in Plateau, say thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I wish you the very best in the future. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Shoakim Ale. Bye-bye.